Hi friends, this is a Bijou Baker. I'm Maria. Today we are going to play. This is going to be one of my fun days for me. We're going to decorate a cake. I'm going to make a sweetheart's cake for Valentine's Day. I'm going to make a cake look like a box of chocolates. Right? The best of two worlds. I'm going to be all over the place, but I'll break down everything I go. Okay, it's really kind of hard for me to actually talk the steps through because it's just like I can do this in my sleep, but when I have to say the steps, like yikes. Okay. All right, so I'm going to use the red velvet cake that I made, and there's a recipe up there, and some of the edible lace that I made, and there's a recipe or the directions on that up on top, and I'm going to use buttercream for a couple reasons. Well, it's like a cream cheese buttercream. So buttercream, you use your fats. I just switched some of the fats in it. It sounds complicated. It's not. But the reason I want that is that it gives me a little bit of a crust, and I want that crust for some of the techniques that I'm going to do. I want to be able to touch it and nothing stick to me. I'll show you, I promise you, and then you'll see, okay, I get it. So I'm going to lower the camera because I want you to see everything I can possibly show you. And again, I'll break everything down. Let me get ready. Okay, I'm going to use 2 single layer red velvet cakes. I'm not going to fill them, and I'm not going to do anything more than that. I want small cakes. Before we even go there though, I'm going to make the topping, the decorations for the top. So isn't that pretty? That bow is what's going to go right on top with some ribbon and lace and such. And that's just craft ribbon. And I'll show you how to do a really easy ribbon. I mean, it's foolproof, okay? So, I don't know, you measure how big you want the hoops, okay? So, yeah, that looks about right. Okay, so there, and then make 2. All right. Then all you're gonna do is you're gonna take the shiny side out, put them together, and pinch it. I got a twist tie. I had floral wire. I don't know what happened to it, so guess what comes in place? Twist tie. Now, that's 1/2 of it, and then I'm going to do the same thing to the other half. This has a crease. Can you see that? That's just a crease from the ribbon. I'm just going to use the other side. Another twist tie. And I'm just pinching it. That's all I did, was just pinch it together and twist it. When it comes to doing this kind of elegant, beautiful cake, I go to the wedding section at the craft store, and that's where I got these, and these were on clearance. That's my favorite price. I can get 2 at that price. So I think for 2 of them it was like $1.25. And then you're just going to put the 2 of them together, okay? And then tie that on. That's it. And then you want to make sure that beautiful little gem shows. Okay, so that's it. I've already got one made, so I don't need this one. Then I got a couple other little things that I'll show you as I go along. But for now, no filling or anything like that, and I'm going to crumb ice this. Now, I don't usually crumb ice or crumb coat or dirty ice or whatever you want to call it. I don't usually do it, but for beginners, I really recommend it because it's going to keep all the crumbs from showing on your icing. So let me get my turntable. All right. So what is crumb coating? It's kind of just like making a crust on something so that when you do ice, everything's already sealed and packed and nothing's gonna fall off. So how do you do it? You just take some buttercream, and you do want buttercream because the fat and the sugar in here is gonna dry up, and that's what gives you the crust. And you wanna wet it, not too wet, but you want it wet enough to. This part's a little tricky because you want to mix faster than it'll let me. It's really weird to see the water break the fat down. But, all right, can you see that consistency? It's thin and lumpy and kind of gross, but it's gonna do its job. And I'm mostly gonna do the sides. And like I said, once this dries, you'll be able to ice it, and all the crumbs will stay put. That's what you want, right? Last thing you want to do is make this beautiful cake and see chocolate crumbs on it, or red crumbs. And this is not something that you need to make pretty. It's going to be hidden. Gosh, when I first started my cake decorating, I crumb coated everything because I didn't have a lot of confidence, and so I didn't want to go to all that trouble to have crumbs on my cake. Now, not so much. And some places will put, so much icing that my gosh, nothing's going to penetrate that. All right, and I'm not going to do the top. I don't really need the top for this cake. But when you do your crumb coats, and especially my beginning decorators, by all means, keep doing this. And we need this to crust up, so I'm going to put it in the refrigerator for about 10 minutes. That's it. Okay, now this top piece I have just on a piece of cardboard just a little bit bigger than the cake itself. This is going to be the top of the box. This is the pretty part. The other one I'm going to ice white and then decorate the sides. And this one I'm going to ice pink. So, and I'm not going to do the crumb coat. Watch it make a fool out of me. And you can do this a little thick. Try not to get too overboard with it because it is a sweet icing. All right, so when you have it with your bag, and you're gonna start using your spatula, I like using the wider spatulas. And then you're always gonna hold your spatula at a 45-degree angle like that. So you're never gonna do it like this and try to do the sides because you're gonna pull the icing off of it. So tilt it to the side, and then just spread it in. And what I'm doing is I'm kind of just pushing it to the middle. Can you see? I'm not really going to do a whole lot with that right now because I want to get the sides smoothed first. When you're icing the sides, you're not going like this. Don't ever keep your spatula perpendicular to the cake. You always want an angle. So I'm going to push it in. Don't worry about that. You will never know that that's there. All right. And I want it on there, but I don't want it so thick. So one of the things that I like to do, oh boy, I don't know if I want to, if you're brave enough, because I do want that, I want it straight up against the box. It looks intimidating. It's not. It's actually more comforting for me to ice this way. I know, what a weirdo, right? Let me just get some more icing. And this cake, there's not gonna be really elaborate borders or anything. It's gonna be really clean lines. This was one of the very first cakes I made. And of course, when we did it back then, I wasn't as elaborate as this cake. I mean, it was just very, very basic. But let me tell you, very, very basic worked. All right. That's the sides. Okay. Remember yesterday when I showed you how to make that edible lace? And I showed you to take it off with this plastic little scraper. This is, I got a milk jug and I cut it out to this piece and it's nice and pliable and soft. That's what I use on some of my cakes for my borders. I mean for my edges. So I'm starting off at one spot. This is the only thing that's moving. This is going to stay absolutely still at a 45-degree angle. And I'm going to match along the cardboard. I'm going to feel for the cardboard. That's it. All right. And bring it into the center and lift it up. Now, when I'm doing that, I am quite literally taking it here, bringing it to the center and lifting it up. That way it doesn't, there's no like plop up. And this part, you guys, seriously, you take your time. If it takes you 20 minutes, it takes you 20 minutes. Don't worry, don't be rushed. And you really, the secret is to keep the edge, your tool, very clean. Okay, that's good. And I'm not real worried about any imperfections on top because I'm gonna decorate it. But I don't know if you can see. Let me show you. Yeah, you get really comfortable with cakes. See those bubbles? Okay, those I don't want. So those I'll flatten out. Just very gently, I mean very gently, just run them across and they'll come out. Okay, that's all I'm gonna do for this. I'm gonna put this aside and wash my hands. Okay, so I took the one that's crumb coated out of the refrigerator and I'm going to just undo the icing. Let's see. You also want to make sure that your board is crumb free. All right, and I'm not going to ice the center. All I'm doing really is kind of smushing it into the cake. Spreading it, yes, but I'm smushing it into the cake so that it adheres. And remember people, no one is as critical about your cakes as you are. So give yourself a little leeway and relax with it. I think you'll find that you'll enjoy it a whole lot more. As you go, you'll perfect the skill and ice effortlessly. And it's funny, I haven't iced in a while, as you can tell. Okay. I'm concentrating, can you tell? That's why I'm not talking. Who said, oh good? All right. Then I'm going to take my spatula and I'm just going to slide it up to give me a clean edge. It's really wonky with with this big board. Usually I have it right up to the side of the cake, so it's a little weird. All right, that's good. Now here's where it's going to get a little scary for you if you try this for the first time. All right, I'm going to get my knife. All right, I have a piece of parchment paper. I'm going to lay right on top. And I'm going to get my knife and I'm just going to outline. Yeah, I want it even. Don't worry about it. It's going to stick. It's wet. All right. And I'm going to cut out a heart. I'm going to do this all the way across. All right. I am going to save this because I'm going to use this. Where am I going to save it? All right. I'm going to take that piece out. Okay. Don't let this scare you guys. So I want to cut it out about, maybe about halfway. And I want my knife clean. And there's no, it does not matter. It does not matter how you do this. You got a snack for later. And it doesn't matter if one part went in deep or... All right. The only thing is trying to keep it away from the edge. Crazy, right? You're gonna go all that trouble and then do this? Yep. Look at that color. That is beautiful. That's just perfect for Valentine's Day. You guys, do me a favor. Would you let me know? I mean, right about now, I'm thinking I should, turn it off because you don't want to, I don't want you guys to get bored. But it's also kind of fascinating. So I don't know if you want me to leave it going, when I'm doing these tedious little tasks. Let me know. Otherwise, I'm gonna feel like I should turn off the camera and then just do the job quietly. But I won't this time because I'm almost done now. Okay, so that's my heart, and I don't want the white, the red there. That's fine. Everything else is okay. So that's insane, right? Okay, let me go wash my hands. Okay, so I got my heart cut out, and I'm going to put that one piece right back on top of it. Because there's no filling or anything, I still need to protect this cake to keep it moist. And that goes inside. That's it for this part. That's kind of the scariest part of it. But you got it. You did good. Except for that part. That part just does not need to be there. But it is a good snack. Okay. All right. So I'm going to stop and I'm going to clean up my board. If you can see the sides, see that little spot right there? Where is it? Up here? I don't want that. I want an absolutely clean board. And then I'm going to show you the next step. Okay, when you're doing this job, you want to go look at Valentine hearts, ones that really impress you. I went looking for some on the internet, and I found that most of them had a gold, metallic gold box side. So, well, guess what I want? I want that metallic gold box side. So I have an airbrush, and apparently this gold is brand new. Sorry, I'm not as ready as I seem. That's all right. Gosh, they do not want you to get in these things. All right, so if you have an airbrush, I'm telling you, they're some of the funnest things to do, to use. All right, so I'm gonna fill my bowl, and I'm gonna turn it on. Let's see. Very, very soft. This is going to take a few coats. I think I like it soft. Can you see? Yeah, I am gonna stop here and cover this, because this is not a professional grade of compressor, so it's really, really low. The pressure is really, really low. It's driving me crazy, but it's better than nothing, so I'm okay with it. So let me finish this up, and I'll show you what it looks like done. Okay, so I have that finished. I have it over drying, and I've made 4 of the edible lace. One of them is not quite ready yet. I'll finish that another time, but I'm going to spray these a green. This will be a little tricky because they're so light, but if you're not going to get your hands dirty, then you're not doing it right. That's all, just a real light mist. And this is going to go on the green, on the gold. Always, always, always rinse out your brush until it comes out green. Or white, or clear. All right. Now, I'm going to stop life in itself just to get this taken care of, because this is, when it comes to taking care of your tools, don't mess around. I'm going to clean this up and put it away. Okay, can you see that? It looks like yellow from there, but it really is a metallic gold. And this part, I'm not going to worry so much about this part, because that's going to be hidden. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of white buttercream, and I'm going to do 2 things. I'm going to seal this paper down, and I'm going to cover the sides. You don't want to really ever have too much exposed cake. then, seems like a lot of work, I know, but it's a lot of fun for me. Okay, so those edible lace that I made yesterday, do you remember the two pieces that look like that? Let's do this again. I just cut them in half, and this is going to be my, don't you hate when that happens, my doily. And I'm going to adhere it in. It's going to hold it, and it's going to hide it, and it's going to look pretty. It's going to do a whole bunch of work for me. Kind of neat, right? And if there is a piece that is broken, or it just doesn't look good, well, take it off. It's that easy. All right, and I'm going to lay it backwards. I'm going to come around later and touch up all the red. I don't want any red showing. And let me get about a few more. Okay, that's good. You certainly could do a couple of rows of this if you wanted it alternated. Now, here's the cool part. You're just going to fill this up with candy. I got a big old box of See's candy. And that's it. That's the box itself. And who doesn't like See's candy? Well, I know I do. Now, at this point, you could put peanut butter cups, or you can put M&Ms, or you can fill it with whatever you want. You can even put peanut clusters, chocolate dipped strawberries. Yay! Whatever it is you like or that you want to give away, that is the exact perfect, that's the exact perfect thing. Okay, and right when you think we're done, we're not done. Okay, so that's a box of chocolate. Isn't that adorable? But now we need to make the top. Okay, so I have this finished. I'm gonna dress up the top just a little bit, and this one will get a shell border, and that's just to do two things. It's to put a little color and then to hide up where I don't want you to see. And it's just a simple shell. That's it. And I have it in pink, the color of the lid. Okay. All right, I think what I'll also do here is I'll just do a little bit of scroll. And that's just an S, a long S. Now, one thing I did that I didn't show you is I put a dowel in this, and you're probably wondering, why would you put a dowel on such a short cake? Well, I'll tell you, because we are constructing. And anytime you construct a cake, you want to make sure you have something that's going to support the weight. And the dowel is it's just a plastic cylinder. You can get this at the cake supply stores or at craft stores. What what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that pink cake and I'm going to lay it right on top of here so it'll look like a box of opened chocolate. When you are working on a cake that is only on one side, don't put the board in the center because it will tip. So put the center of your cake, the weight of your cake, onto your turntable, just so you know. All right, now we're gonna I'm gonna take these green. I sprayed them just a minute ago, and I'm just gonna very carefully put them up against the side. Now, you don't have to do green. You can leave them white. That would be pretty. You can paint them silver or gold, purple, whatever your preference is on the colors. And you know, it's funny. You can make it heart Valentine hearts, man. Boy, they're in all sorts of color combinations and styles and designs, and that's kind of cool. If you want a checkerboard, do a checkerboard. Okay, so that's just it. I'm going to touch up a little bit more, but I want to decorate the top so you can see how that's going to look. Okay, so like I said, this buttercream icing, the thing that's so cool about it is that after it sits a while, it's got a little crust to it. I like that, especially for that piece. So how am I going to do this? Let's see. I'm going to take this piece of lace that I made and I'm going to slice it right down the side like I did the other one. Okay, so when you're doing this, you definitely want to make sure that you have your design in mind on what you want. So I'm going to cut, boy, this ribbon is just all wrinkled. Okay, I don't want the wrinkles. Not only in my ribbon either. All right, and I'm going to cut it a lot longer than I need it. All right, I don't want that piece, and I don't want that piece. Now, because this has a little bit of a crust, it's not going to stay on unless I adhere it, which is fine because right now I'm just playing. So I'm going to take half of that lace that I just showed you, and I'm going to run it and just put it down. I'm going to put the other half going the opposite way. And I think I want, you know, that's why it's cool, because you get to, you know, figure out which way you want it. And I need them further apart. All right, so my lace is going to go right on top. And this is too far. Okay. Shiny side up. Okay, now I'm going to take some icing and I'm just going to adhere it right to the line. This other stuff I'm going to cut off in just a minute. But these two lines are going to keep this in place and my ribbon in place. You gotta love edible glue. All right. So that's it. I'm flattening it just so that there's no bumps. And that lace looks so pretty. Can you see that? I'm going to cut right along the arch of the heart. On both sides. I just want the top. I don't want it on the sides. If you do, then you go do that. You know my rule. It's your cake. You do what you want. All right. Now these lines are going to show, but I kind of like that look. I'll show you later. I'm not going to try to tilt that. Now I'm going to decorate it with my fun stuff. Okay, so remember I just showed you how to put the two sides together, and that's going to go right there. Now here, here's the fun part. Remember when I was telling you you can go to the bridal section and pick up stuff that's going to just really enhance the look of your cake? Well, this is it, boy. Let me tell you, and it's just gorgeous. Now I'm going to flatten this because I don't want it. Yeah. All right. Let me see if I can do this. You know what? I want you to see a top view. There you go. Much better. Now, I picked up these beautiful, look at them. Isn't that pretty? It's just a brooch. Now, before I leave, I have to talk to you about this. But until then, we're going to play. And then I picked up these hair clips. So, I can't do it upside down. Sorry. I am going to adhere this right onto the... And I'm putting it high so that I can tilt it a little bit, okay? See that? See how it's tilted? All right. And then I'm going to put, this is all just a matter of placement, so you kind of have to eyeball where you want this. You can just very gently press it in. I don't think I want that there, but all right. I'm going to play with this one. I might not even need it, but hello. Okay. Now I'm going to finish up the edge because that looks so unfinished, which it is. And then I will be right back. I think I'll spray the side. Nope. I'm going to do scrolls. Let me set that up and I'll show you. Okay, I'm just doing, what are these hoops? E's and upside down E's. Oh my gosh, what is this? Just swirls. That's all. And it's just to give it that finished look. And then I'm going to do a little on the sides too. This is the part, I mean, you really have to make this your own. And that's always my favorite part. So I'm just going to continue like that on the sides. And that really does make it pretty. But again, right about here is where I'm thinking you're thinking, all right, let me just change this channel because I get it. And it's funny because as many years as I've been doing cakes, if you were to pick up a pastry bag, I would be absolutely enthralled. I wouldn't want to leave until you were done with it. If it was your first time or if you were, it doesn't matter to me. I can't get enough of watching it. It mesmerizes me, really, it does. But you can't see it, so I don't know if you're going to get that same ooh and ah. Let's see, can I? Nope, I'm backwards. Sorry. Here, let me show you the end result. Okay, isn't that pretty? That is so pretty. Now what I'm going to do, just to finish it off, I'm going to there's a edible dust powder at the craft store. You can, I did get this at the craft store, and it's just a pump, and it's just a dust, and I'm going to go way up high, and I'm just going to give it a light powder. Can you see it? That's it. It's going to give it just a little bit of a shimmer. You guys, look at that. Isn't that pretty? All right, now let's put it together. Okay, so I took off that grain. I did not like the way that looked. It looked way too ghetto. So I took it off and repainted it. Keeping my board centered on my, yeah, there it is. Okay, keeping my cake centered there. But now I'm going to tilt it over to the side because I'm going to put this layer on. You look crooked. Alrighty. So let me see if I could do this towards you. That's always a question, right? I'm checking underneath for the weight of to see where my turntable is. So I've got this dowel in here that's going to hold the support of this cake, and this cake is just going to be very gently laid on top. It's on the board, remember? Wow, and there you go. Okay, so I felt that I took some icing off. I'm going to have to go retouch it. Yep. That's all right. That's not a big deal. Let me show it to you because it might scare you. Yeah, that doesn't scare me. That's an easy patch. But, voila. How's that for a Valentine's treat, huh? Isn't that beautiful? Oh, hi. When did you get here? I haven't seen you this entire session. Well, this is it. Isn't that a beautiful cake? I love this cake. It's pretty and yummy. So my recipe for the red velvet is down below. Anything else that I showed you for this is down below too. The edible lace is not my recipe. It's a kit that you can get in the craft store. The candy, I've done this with chocolate strawberries. Boy, boy, it is so good. All right, my friends, happy Valentine's Day. Until next time, happy baking. Now, the thing with using jewels and stuff on your cakes, if you bake for hire, you really must have a contract letting them know that it's not edible. They'll break their tooth, they'll sue you for dental work, and no, it's cake. And why do we have to do this? Because somewhere along the line, someone made it necessary to put a label on a hairdryer saying not to use in the bathtub. So make sure they know it's not edible. And then take it off and put it in your hair.
Ah, that was fun. Don't forget to like and subscribe.